Hi, my name is Megan and I take care of the blog at Lick, but today I'm going to be putting on my vlogging hat. We're going to be talking to you about something that is really close to our hearts and our decorating communities, which is eco-friendly home decor. Eco-friendly home decor tip number 1 is go vintage or upcycle. Now, one of my absolute favorite Ab Fab Patsy quotes is, "One should never be the oldest thing in the house." And whilst I don't think she was specifically talking about home decor, I think that this is true. Think about, you don't always have to buy new for your space. I love how sort of 10, 15 years ago, buying from a charity shop or a vintage shop was like kind of a bit of a cheapskate thing to do. I definitely at university did it because I just didn't have any money. But now it's cool. You don't always have to buy new. If someone asks you where you got that chair or table from, it's quite fun to just say, oh, actually, this little charity shop or something, there's a story behind it. Get on eBay, get down to your local boot sale, just don't always go the obvious route. Or even embark on an upcycling project. If you've just repainted your bedroom in a different color, but you've got, say, a chest of drawers that you love, you don't have to buy a whole new set of drawers. Just give them a sand down, give them a repaint, get some new knobs for them or something, and honestly, it's amazing how many lives a piece of furniture can have. And yeah, it just looks like something brand new. So one of my favorite collaborations that we ever did at Lick was with Yinka Alori. If you don't know him, Google him. He transforms really mundane sort of old chairs or bland brick London wall into these just kaleidoscopic, gorgeous spaces. It's so cool. Honestly, if you don't know him, check him out. I personally have been so inspired by his stuff. I took an old chair that we had just in the bedroom, and it's nowhere. It's not a Yinka, it's very much a Meg. I was really inspired by it and, just used some leftover tins that we had to kind of give this chair that otherwise, to be honest, we were gonna chuck out, this completely new lease of life. And I'm just feel very proud of it every time I sit down at it. It's probably not to everyone's taste. Wouldn't necessarily buy it from the shops, but there really is something to it when you have put in the elbow grease and created something or transformed something that was otherwise gonna go to the skip. Okay, eco-friendly home decor tip number 2, eco-friendly materials. To our first point, you're not always gonna be buying vintage, you're not always gonna be upcycling. So if you are buying new, look for furnishings that are made from FSC certified woods. It can be reclaimed or recycled woods. Just even if the piece itself is new, coming from materials that have been repurposed in some way is a really good place to start. Again, looking for materials that can be sustainably sourced or grown. Bamboo and jute, which are having a real moment right now, are such good examples of this. They both have really quick growing times. So, not only do they do good whilst they're growing, because they're sort of letting out lots of gorgeous oxygen and all that stuff that we like, even in the biodegrading process, they're doing good as well. When it comes to fabrics, obviously look for organic if possible, and think about, again, just natural fabrics, so your linens, your cottons, and if they're coloured, you want to be thinking about natural dyes. And it's not those really bright neon colours, it's those really earthy, grounding colours that I love and are also so on trend with this sort of boho, Japandi style. So, it's not, you don't just have to live in a kind of Spartan, wood secondhand home. It looks gorgeous too. You can be eco-friendly and have a beautiful, beautiful home. And if your style is maybe not as sort of natural or Japandi as some other people's, and you still want to go for those really bright colours, there are some amazing companies pioneering work, making, I've seen rugs made out of recycled plastic bottles, that sort of basket woven style work, again, made out of brightly coloured recycled plastics. So it's using our waste products to create something beautiful. And I think that there's so much more of that going on right now. And it's just a really good example of how we can take yeah, like a waste product, something that, you know, would otherwise end up in a tip or the rubbish dump, and turn it into something beautiful in your home. And I love it. I love it. I want to get one of those rugs. I want to get a recycled plastic bottle rug for my home. Eco-friendly home decor tip number 3, adopt some houseplants. You don't have to adopt them, you can buy them, you can propagate them, you can make some houseplant babies. Anyway, it doesn't matter. However you get them into your home, houseplants. This has been a, if you'll pardon the pun, growing trend. One word of caution, if you do join the houseplant movement, there's no end to it. Once you've bought one, you never have enough. You constantly are finding more spaces in your home. I'm sure if you could see the rest of my house, you would see what I mean. Not only are they linked to reduced stress, reduced anxiety, increased creativity, which is, who doesn't need that? They can actually act as air filters, you know, people that suffer with respiratory conditions. They also remove really harmful chemicals that we find in our homes, formaldehyde being one of them. Why is formaldehyde in our homes? I don't know, but apparently it is. And plants do help to remove these chemicals and replace them with oxygen, which I'm here for it. Okay, eco-friendly home decor tip number 4, switch up your products. This is probably a really obvious one, but you know, we're not recreating the wheel here. It's like changing your light bulbs. If you haven't already switched to low energy LED bulb, do it like yesterday. I'll be honest, we actually only very recently did this in our bathroom because all of our bulbs sort of went together, and the difference in how long they last, even the light quality, just do it. It will save you money and it will save the planet, and those are all good things. Even things like candles, you know, if you're burning those more old-fashioned style candles, I have no idea about this, they're made from paraffin, like again, that's a carcinogenic. So you can replace them with beeswax, or if you don't want something made of animal products, soy candles, and they look and smell just as good. And again, a really obvious one, it's not quite a decor tip, but nonetheless important in your home, is your actual products, your cleaning products. Like, there are so many great eco-friendly products on the market right now. And I think this is probably one of these things when you're just thinking about it for yourself, like I never really considered it, but suddenly if you've got children or you've got pets that are sort of licking the walls or the floor, switching to an eco-friendly alternative, I think, is something that might not be immediately obvious, but for your own kind of health and well-being makes a really big difference. An even better and cost-effective option for that is making your own. I love a bit of DIY. I'm not that handy with a drill or a saw or anything like that, but I can make a DIY cleaning product. So it's things like water with vinegar. That's a really good, you can just spray that around the house. It doesn't smell as nice initially, but the smell goes, I promise you. and it's a really good cleaning product. Lemons, bicarb of soda. You can mix these things together in all sorts of amazing combinations. And honestly, they work as well, if not better, than the sort of shop bought products. Okay. Eco-friendly decorating tip number 5. We've been talking about switching up your products, and if you are redecorating your home, then buying eco-friendly decorating products, supplies, whatever it is. I know a company that sells eco-friendly paint. I don't know, whatever it is. Doesn't matter where you buy it from, just do your homework and just find out about what is actually in what your sort of, whether it's paint or wallpaper or whatever it is, what you're plastering all over your home, basically. So when it comes to paint, you want to look for low VOC paint. What does that mean? Good question, I didn't know. It means low volatile organic compounds. And that is basically when you are painting your home and you get that really pungent paint smell, that is those volatile organic compounds. I remember the last house that I painted, and I literally had to spend the night outside of the house because I had such a bad headache and just didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, oh, it's paint smell. Totally normal that you get a migraine from painting. And it's not, it shouldn't. People even talk about, you know, that fresh paint smell, and that's like not a good thing. So if you're looking for a water-based, low VOC paint, I'm going to talk about water-based a bit in a minute. If you're looking for a low VOC paint, the best way to determine if that indeed is or isn't is just by smelling it. Just if you don't get that really strong pungent paint smell whilst you're doing your decorating, chances are you've got a good one. Also water-based. A lot of this sort of old-fashioned paints were oil-based, and it can mean that they'll really hang around on your walls for years and decades and generations to come, but they will also hang around in the environment for years and years and years to come, and they're just not nice to work with. They're like really thick and sort of cloying, and yeah, so look for a water-based paint, because if and when that ends up back in the environment, it's not ideal, but it will be more soluble and it will disappear faster. So low VOC, water-based, no smell. That's what we want. Tickety tick, tick, tick. Cool. And again, if you're not a paint person, if you want to wallpaper your house from floor to ceiling, look for FSC certified, like that is non-negotiable. You want to make sure that your wallpaper is coming from a sustainably sourced forest. Ideally, somewhere nearby, maybe Europe. And if it's recyclable, even better. For your decorating supplies, I mean, the best decorating supplies are the ones that you already have. But if you don't already have decorating supplies, look for, again, recycled, recyclable, compostable, biodegradable, all of those, checkbox words. Okay, eco-friendly decorating tip number 6. We saved the best till last. We saved like probably the most obvious till last, but if you want to start somewhere, if literally this is your first foray into sort of making your home a more eco-friendly space, this is the place to start, and it is go plastic free. If you haven't already ditched your plastic shopping bags, I was going to say chuck them out the window, but don't do that. Don't do that. Take them to your nearest recycling centre and do that. Get a canvas bag with a fun design on it. Get with your favourite, I don't know, bookshop. Something cool. Something that you feel like proud to carry around and take into Tesco's, whatever. As consumers more and more start leaning into this sort of aversion to plastic, the market is responding, and there are now so many websites where you can get your groceries and household products delivered without packaging. In our house, we try to really make a statement of it, and we've got this sort of big reclaimed wood shelving wall, just kind of filled with jars of, I don't know, all sorts, flour, spices, things that I don't even know where they are in there. But yeah, we've just tried to make a conscious decision to go plastic free. And I think also the more and more you do it and the more you talk to people about it, the more people will do it. So yes, if you're going to do anything, go plastic free. Start there. That's the place to start. Ditch the plastic bags. And that's it. And that's a wrap. That is by no means an exhaustive list of our eco-friendly home decor tips, but I think they're a pretty good place to start. And honestly, I could talk about this for longer than you would want to listen to me. So those are our top 6 eco-friendly decorating tips. But if you have any of your own, then honestly, I would love to hear them. So please pop them in the comments below. If you want to keep up to date with all of our home decor tips, I promise that they're not all just about eco-friendly decorating, but there is plenty more where that came from. And please subscribe to our channel, and I promise it will be worth it. We've got loads more fun stuff to come. So yes, see you soon.